So the goal was with the hangar module was to allow people to start interacting, playing with their ships. You know, you want to be able to see them, you've got them. You don't want it to just be this thing that doesn't really exist. You want to be able to actually interact with it, and we want to get it in front of you. So the idea was we were going to build some kind of environment that allows you to have your ships run in front of you on your computer, so you actually get what you've put into the game. And so originally we had a couple of challenges. People could get as many ships as they wanted to, so we had to build some kind of system that allowed this flexibility and a location that could build out, build down, depending on what you had. And so the idea came about to have a hangar, because that makes sense. You have your ship, it's in a hangar. And then we came up with this whole module application that allows you to have it build out on its own, depending on how many ships that you've purchased or pledged for. And so at that point, we knew we wanted to do a hangar, we knew we wanted a module, but there were so many pledges and tiers and so many differences that we really wanted to reward people that contributed so much to the project. So we decided to have tiers for hangars, and depending on what your pledge was, you can get a bigger and better hangar. So we created a tier system, and so currently we're now completed the first hangar, the entry-level hangar, which is the discount hangar. And then we've moved on now to a business hangar, which is the second tier. So for the people that have like the Hornet, for example, or whatnot. And then for the people that have the Constellation, we give this nice, we're also working on the nice big deluxe hangar. This is going to be our initial 3 hangars for our first release. So right now we're trying to wrap up both the business hangar and the deluxe hangar so we could bring them to you guys as soon as possible. So the first thing we do is start designing it, and first we've got to make sure that it fits the particular ships that it's going to have in there, and then we start building out all the concept. So once we get enough concept, we start trying to look through it and figure out exactly what the style is we're going for, then we start approving concept. At that point, I start building out the base architecture, and then we get some additional concept and actually start dealing out all the objects that need to go into the hangar. And at that point, we take it and we dish it out and make sure everything starts getting made properly. And then once it gets made, it comes back to me, and then I start placing it, putting it in there, and building it into my architecture. So walls, ceilings, lights, all that stuff. And then we just start making sure that it's built in a system that can duplicate and that can expand and contract. So we build everything, every piece in it in a particular scale, a particular measurement, and then we know, take this measurement, bring it over, and we know that our ship's gonna fit, we know that when it duplicates, our other ship's gonna fit, and you get this nice contracting, expanding system. Probably the biggest challenges we have with the hangar is we have to create an environment that can potentially be huge. And the biggest challenge obviously is getting it to run at a game level quality as far as the frame rates go, because we do push everything at a very high degree. Our lights all have shadows, our geometry is very high, there's tons of detail. We try to make it as realistic as possible, great sound, go all out, particles, go all out, everything. So we have to really be careful and make things as efficient and smart as possible to make sure that when it does build out, and now you have all these shadows and everything, and you have all this detail that just keeps going and going and going, you got to make sure that at some degree, you're being smart about how it's scaling down the further it gets away. That way you're keeping your frame rates up so we could get it to run on everybody's computers. The thing I'm looking forward to most in the next 3 months is to see the reactions from people as they finally get to see their ship, right? They get into it, and I'm looking forward to seeing, actually being able to see people climb in for the first time and start getting people's reactions, and maybe more requests what they would want in a hangar, and start seeing people actually swap out different parts of their ships for other ships and get their upgrades, and then see what people actually come up with when they build them. The next big task is to close out the hangars, to get them ready, to get them tested, and to get them shipped. But then after that, we are going to have more ships coming in, more hangars coming in. So throughout, there's going to be no dead time. So as soon as we get our first line of ships and our first line of hangars out, and we're working towards our alpha, which is the dogfighting, throughout that dead time, we will continually be releasing new ships, getting them to you, and releasing new hangars for the new ships.